Prime Minister Narendra Modi dedicates Sardardham Bhavan and performs Bhoomi Pujan of Sardardham Phase 2, Kanya Chhatralaya via video conferencing in Ahmedabad. Stalemate of farmers' protest breaks in Karnal. Agreement reached between both sides. Haryana government orders judicial inquiry by retired judge. Inquiry to be completed within 1 month. President will lay foundation stone for Uttar Pradesh National Law University and new building complex of Allahabad High Court in Prayagraj. India is hosting the first ever 2+2 ministerial dialogue with Australia today. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will discuss strategic cooperation with their counterparts. Joint call by Australian Foreign Minister and Australian Defence Minister on the Prime Minister. With the coronavirus pandemic weakening in the country, India's factory output measured in terms of the index of industrial production has risen 11.5% on a year-on-year basis for July. Today is the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 attack. India pays tribute at New York's National's September 11 Memorial. US President Joe Biden will visit all the 3 sites of hijacking attacks to honor people who were killed in the 9/11 attack in 2001. Turkey and 4 other countries group call upon Taliban to uphold its undertaking to allow those wishing to depart from Afghanistan. Sources say former Afghanistan Vice President Amrullah Salah's brother executed by Taliban. And in sports, in US Open, Emma Raducanu of Britain and Leila Fernandez of Canada will clash for the title today for women's singles final. First time 2 teenagers will play for title. In men's singles, Novak Djokovic will face Daniil Medvedev for the summit clash. Good afternoon. Welcome to English News. I'm Anil Thomas. Now for the stories in detail, starting first up with the Prime Minister dedicating the Sardardham Bhavan and performing the Bhoomi Pujan of Sardardham Phase 2, Kanya Chhatralaya, today via video conferencing. Sardardham has been working towards educational and social transformation, upliftment of weaker sections of society, and providing employment opportunities to the youth. Set up in Ahmedabad, the Sardardham Bhavan includes state-of-the-art facilities for students with modern amenities. The Kanya Chhatralaya will have a hostel facility for about 2,000 girls, irrespective of economic criteria.
दिन हमें काम करना है, सब हिंदुस्तान उठ सकता है।
जर एक संकल्प सिद्धि तरफ आगे बढ़े।
देश की एकता, अखंडता और
Prime Minister also announced the establishment of Subramaniam Bharati Chair on Tamil Studies in Faculty of Arts at Banaras Hindu University for research fellows.
भारत के महान विद्वान, दार्शनिक और स्वातंत्र सेनानी सुब्रमण्यम भारती जी की 100वीं पुण्यतिथि है। सरदार साहब जिस एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत का विजन लेकर चलते थे, वही दर्शन महाकवि भारती की तमिल लेखनी में पूरी दिव्यता से निखरता रहा है। इस अवसर पर मैं एक महत्वपूर्ण घोषणा भी कर रहा हूं। बनारस हिंदू यूनिवर्सिटी में सुब्रमण्यम भारती जी के नाम से एक चेयर स्थापित करने का निर्णय किया गया है। तमिल स्टडीज, तमिल भाषा समृद्ध भाषा है, विश्व की सबसे पुरातन भाषा है और हम सभी हिंदुस्तानियों के लिए गर्व की बात है। तमिल स्टडीज पर सुब्रमण्यम भारती चेयर बनारस हिंदू यूनिवर्सिटी BHU के फैकल्टी ऑफ आर्ट्स में स्थापित होगी। ये विद्यार्थियों को, रिसर्च फेलोज को उस भव्य भारत के निर्माण में जुटे रहने की निरंतर प्रेरणा देगी, जिसका सपना भारती जी ने देखा था।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi also remembered the deadly incident of 9/11 on the occasion of its 20th anniversary. He added that Swami Vivekananda introduced the humanitarian values to the world. Prime Minister said that it is these values that can provide permanent solution to the crisis like 9/11.
11 सितंबर यानी 9/11 है। दुनिया के इतिहास की एक ऐसी तारीख जिसने मानवता पर प्रहार के लिए भी जाना जाता है, लेकिन इसी तारीख ने पूरे विश्व को काफी कुछ सिखाया भी। एक सदी पहले ये 11 सितंबर 1893 का ही दिन था जब शिकागो में विश्व धर्म संसद का आयोजन हुआ था। आज के ही दिन स्वामी विवेकानंद ने उस वैश्विक मंच पर खड़े होकर दुनिया को भारत के मानवीय मूल्यों से परिचित कराया था। आज दुनिया ये महसूस कर रही है कि 9/11 जैसी वो त्रासदी भी, जिसे भी 20 साल हुए हैं, त्रासदियों का स्थायी समाधान मानवता के उन्हीं मूल्यों से ही होगा।
Moving on, meanwhile, the stalemate over the farmers' protest in Karnal ends with farm leaders and the administration reaching an agreement. A joint press conference between the local administration and farmer leaders was held in Haryana's Karnal today. An agreement has been reached between both sides. It is announced that the government would hold an inquiry into the violence via a retired judge. The inquiry is expected to be completed in a span of 1 month.
जो हमारी सहमति हुई है दोनों पक्षों में, सरकार की तरफ से कृषि नेताओं के बीच में, बहुत ही पॉजिटिव माहौल में, बहुत सौहार्दपूर्ण वातावरण में हुई है और हमारी आम सहमति से ये निर्णय जो हुए हैं उनकी मैं घोषणा आपके सामने कर रहा हूं। हरियाणा सरकार 28 अगस्त 2021 को बस्ताड़ा टोल पर हुए घटनाक्रम की न्यायिक जांच करवाएगी और यह जांच हाईकोर्ट के रिटायर्ड जज से करवाई जाएगी एवं जांच यथासंभव 1 माह में पूर्ण होगी। और हरियाणा सरकार मृतक किसान सतीश काजल के 2 परिवारजनों को सरकार DC रेट पर सैंक्शन पोस्ट पर नौकरी देगी यहीं पे करनाल डिस्ट्रिक्ट में।
And now an update on COVID-19 situation from across the country. In India, the recovery of 32,198 patients in the last 24 hours has increased the cumulative tally of recovered patients in our country to 3,23,74,497. Consequently, India's recovery rate currently stands at 97.49%. Sustained and collaborative efforts by the centre and the state along with union territories continue the trend of less than 50,000 daily new cases that has been reported for 76 consecutive days now. 33,376 new cases being reported in the last 24 hours and the active caseload presently in the country stands at 3,91,516. Active cases presently constitute 1.18% of the country's total positive cases, and the testing capacity across the country continues to be expanding. The last 24 hours saw a total of 15,92,135 tests being conducted, and India has so far conducted over 54 crore cumulative tests in Meanwhile, the testing capacity has also been enhanced across the country. The weekly positivity rate at 2.26% remains less than 3% for the last 78 days now. The daily positivity rate reported to be 2.10%. The daily positivity rate has remained below 3% for the last 12 days. With that, let's also take a look at the nationwide COVID-19 vaccination drive. In a landmark achievement, India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed the 73 crore mark after 238 days. The cumulative figure stands at 73 crore 5,89,688. Over 65 crore 27 lakh vaccine doses have been administered in the last 24 hours. While taking cue from Prime Minister Narendra Modi's call on 100% vaccination, a Vizag resident has started an interesting vaccination awareness campaign. Ayyappa Raju from Tatipalem in Visakhapatnam has set up a Ganesh Pandal with the theme of COVID vaccine to spread awareness on the importance of COVID vaccination to fight corona. The Pandal has a Ganesh idol in vaccination shaped structure, vaccination related information on boards. Speaking to the national broadcaster, he said that despite vaccines being free of cost, few people still have hesitation to take vaccination. Allaying the fears of side effects and to instill confidence and trust in vaccines, this Ganesh Pandal has been set up.
Our Prime Minister has also taken a very important steps in protecting our Indian people through only one and only step, that is vaccination. Taking all these inspiration, I have got thought that I should have to step forward to create awareness among the public in the festival season through Covishield Vinayaka. So I am creating awareness here in the Pandal that please be vaccinated and be safe.
Well, earlier, Goa Chief Minister Pramod Sawant announced the first dose of the vaccine against COVID-19 reached 100% of its eligible population. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has lauded Goa for administering the first dose of COVID-19 vaccine to 100% eligible population in Goa. While sharing a tweet by the Chief Minister of Goa, Dr. Pramod Sawant, the Prime Minister said, "Well done, Goa. Great effort, powered by a collective spirit and the prowess of our doctors as well as innovators." Chief Minister of Goa, Dr. Pramod Sawant, has thanked the people of Goa for their support in making this drive of vaccination a huge success. With the coronavirus pandemic weakening in the country, India's factory output measured in terms of the index of industrial production has risen 11.5% on a year-on-year basis for the month of July. For the month of July, the quick estimate of index of industrial production with base 2011-2012 stands at 131.4. The indices on industrial production for the mining, manufacturing and electricity sector for the month of July stands at 104.6, 130.9 and 184.7. The use-based classification indices stood at 128.5 for primary goods, 91.8 for capital goods. Indices for consumer durables at 119.5, consumer non-durables at 146.6. Moving on to the 2+2 between India and Australia at the ministerial level talks, India and Australia are holding their first 2+2 ministerial dialogue in New Delhi today. The meeting, which is underway, taking place between Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, Australian Foreign Minister Maurice Payne and Australian Defence Minister Peter Dutton. Australia is a key partner in the Quad initiative as well as in the Indo-Pacific. It is also a partner in trilateral constructs like India-Australia-Indonesia and India-Australia-France, also in the ASEAN-led forums. Later, both the Australian ministers will jointly call on Prime Minister Narendra Modi. U.S. Special Presidential Envoy for Climate John Kerry will travel to India from September 12th to 14th to discuss efforts to raise global climate ambition and to speed India's clean energy transition. His visit is aimed at engaging with counterparts on efforts to address the climate crisis. During his visit, he will meet his Indian counterparts and private sector leaders to discuss efforts to raise global climate ambition and speed India's clean energy transition. India and the United States will also launch the Climate Action and Finance Mobilization Dialogue, one of the two main tracks of the US-India Agenda 2030 partnership that President Joe Biden and Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced at the Leaders Summit on Climate Change in April 2021. John Kerry's visit will bolster the U.S. bilateral and multilateral climate efforts ahead of COP26 to the UNFCCC to be held in October 31st to November 12th in Glasgow in United Kingdom. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today remembered the great freedom fighter and Bharat Ratna Acharya Vinoba Bhave on his 126th birth anniversary. Acharya Vinoba Bhave devoted his life towards creating a just and compassionate society. He initiated and nurtured the Pujan movement. In a tweet, Prime Minister said, and I quote, Acharya Vinoba Bhave carried forward the noble Gandhian principles after India attained independence. His mass movements were aimed at ensuring a better quality of life for the poor and downtrodden. He emphasized on collective spirit that will always continue to inspire generations. Mahatma Gandhi described him as someone who was absolutely against untouchability, unwavering in his commitment to India's freedom, and a firm believer in non-violence as well as constructive work. He was a thinker par excellence. Tributes to Acharya Vinoba Bhave on his Jayanti. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also paid homage to the remarkable Subramaniam Bharati on his 100th death anniversary. Prime Minister recalled his rich scholarship, multifaceted contributions to our nation, noble ideals on social justice and women empowerment. Swami Vivekananda's iconic speech at the World Religion Conference in Chicago is remembered by one and all. It was on September 11, 1893, when Swami Vivekananda gave the speech full of wisdom. For those unversed, it is the iconic Chicago speech that Swami Vivekananda addressed the audience as brothers and sisters of America. Recalling Swami Vivekananda's iconic 1893 speech in Chicago, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said Swami Vivekananda beautifully demonstrated the salience of Indian culture. The spirit of his speech has the potential to create a more just, prosperous and inclusive planet. The 20th anniversary of the 9/11 terror attack is being observed today. On this day in 2001, almost 3,000 people were killed when hijackers crashed planes into the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and a field in rural Pennsylvania. US President Joe Biden will visit all three memorial sites to commemorate the 20th anniversary of the September 11th attack. The White House released a video of US President giving a speech to commemorate the victims of the September 11th attacks ahead of the 20th anniversary. In his speech, Joe Biden honored all those who risked and gave their lives in the minutes, hours, months, and years afterwards. Paying tribute to the victims of the September 11 terror attacks, Biden said that the central lesson for Americans to take away from September 11th was that unity is our greatest strength. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson said that the September 11, 2001 Al-Qaeda attacks in the United States failed to divide those who believe in freedom and democracy. In a video message marking the 20th anniversary 9/11 terror attack, UK Prime Minister linked the 9/11 anniversary with the recent return of Taliban rule in Afghanistan following the withdrawal of American, British and other NATO forces. Boris Johnson, who was born in New York, said that 67 Britishers who died in the attacks are a symbol of the eternal friendship between the United Kingdom and the United States. The message will be played at an event held in London's Olympic Park, where there is a memorial sculpture created from steel salvaged from the collapsed World Trade Center towers. The United States presented UK with a sculpture made of twisted metal debris from the remains of the World Trade Center in New York. On sports, world number 1 Novak Djokovic won a grueling 5-set thriller against Alexander Zverev to set up a US Open final against world number 2 Daniil Medvedev to keep his bid for a calendar Grand Slam on track. Russian second seed Daniil Medvedev had earlier kept alive his hopes of a first major title with a 6-4, 7-5, 6-2 win over Canadian Felix Auger-Aliassime. Djokovic then recovered from falling a set behind to win a 5-set thriller, 4-6, 6-2, 6-4, 6-2. He now has a chance to win his 21st Grand Slam singles title. Victory over Medvedev on Sunday at Flushing Meadows would move Djokovic clear of the 20 majors won by Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal. History-chasing Novak Djokovic would also become the first man to win all 4 majors in the same year since Rod Laver in 1969. In the women's singles, it's an interesting match lined up for today as 2 teenagers will face each other in the women's singles final. 19-year-old Leila Fernandez of Canada will take on 18-year-old British qualifier Emma Raducanu at the Athara Stadium. One is unseeded and the other is just a debutant. In the past 10 days, Leila upset over 10 top players, while Raducanu still has to drop a set in the tournament. So it's the battle of generation next, and it's going to be a good contest between 2 tennis players from Canada and Great Britain. So that's all we have time for in this edition of news. Thanks for watching. You take good care of yourself. Remember that fight against COVID-19 continues. So if you have not got yourself vaccinated, please step out. It's a weekend. Make it count. And when you step out to get yourself vaccinated, please take a loved one, please take a friend along so that more and more people get vaccinated. Because if we all get vaccinated, we do the society at large a big favor. And that's not all. If you and I get vaccinated, we all stand a better chance to see a better tomorrow. That's it from me and my entire team. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Take care.